Hello there everyone, and welcome to this tutorial on how to create a Chaos Warrior with the mark of Nurgle. This paint job took me about 1 hour and a half. I like to be open about it because I don't want to steal your time and you should know what you're getting yourself into right from the start. And we are starting with a black primed miniature. We need dark sea blue, Cayman and Elysian green. Also lime green and elfic flesh. I would love to give you a full Games Workshop color palette, but this time I don't really have another example for the Cayman green. For the dark sea blue one could maybe use Into the Darkness. We are covering the entire miniature with dark sea blue. You can be as messy as you like because we are going to paint all over the miniature in the end again. Once this is done, we are going to apply a 50-50 mix of Cayman green and dark sea blue. I dilute the paints a little bit with water, so this layer is a little bit translucent. Because I'm using a bit more of a stippeling motion, we have a nice texture right from the start. You don't need to cover the entire miniature. In fact, it's nice to leave out some parts that would be in a natural shadow. For example, here on the armor. Of course, what would a tutorial be without dropping the miniature? But anyway, for the next step, we are going to apply a 50-50 mix of Cayman green and Elysian green. But don't cover the entire armor, aim for like 50 to 70%. We still want the dark greenish tones to be visible. We're starting to add a bit of lime green into the mix. This paint job does not really live because of its neatness. It lives because of its, quite frankly, chaotic nature. As we are only stippling and dotting some paints onto it, while aiming for more brightness the higher we get. There are always certain parts of this type of full body armor that should be highlighted. That should mostly be the shoulders, the chest, the kneecaps and of course the helmet or the face. Here you see me painting very randomly some dots and scratches. I know this looks kind of strange right now, but trust the process. The more variety of color we are adding, the better it will look in the end. And while you see me painting, I would love to thank you so much again, for we are reaching the 250 subscribers, which is crazy to me, because I just started this channel like 6 weeks ago, and thank you. Here on the shoulder part, you once again can see how I just dot on the colors. I just mix them up on the fly, so some are a little bit brighter, some are a bit darker. In the end, I just aim for having the brighter tones on the top and the darker tones on the bottom of the shoulder. When you feel some parts have a very hard separation between the dark and bright colors, just add some small bright dots on the dark areas to bring them together. Now we take this paint job to the next level, as we are adding a bit of elfic flesh into the mix and only picking out some of the highest points of some armor parts that we want to be in the focus. So for example, the shoulder, the chest area, the face. In general, you can say the most important parts are the face, the chest, the shoulders. And on this very mini, I would also recommend to paint the kneecaps a little brighter, so it comes together nicely. We are going to edge highlight the miniature with a 50-50 mix of Elfic Flash and Lime Green to have a nice separation between the armor parts. I have another small announcement. I am officially affiliated with Kutami now, which is a small and, to be honest, my favorite shop here in Germany. They support my cause, and if you need something anyway, you can use my affiliate link. I painted the trim with Warblock Bronze. And the fabric got 2 layers of dark purple. Once again, adding a bit of Elfic Flash into the purple mix so we can highlight the fabric. I pick out some natural highlights. For example, the top of the hood, also to have a nice focus point on the face or the helmet underneath it, I edge highlight the front of the hood. Pick out some parts on the loincloth and Trident. I tried to represent some tears in the fabric, took out a nice pointy brush, add some water and a very bright pink and try to paint a neat straight line. Adding some even brighter highlights on the parts that we have already highlighted to create this deep and rich looking purple. I just realized I haven't recorded how I paint the hand hanging from his belt. This is just purple and a bit of Bugman's glow. Wooden and leathery parts and also the horns are painted with dried bark, brighten up with a 50-50 mix of dried bark and earthic flesh, and highlight it with pure earthic flesh. For the chains and the Stormcast faceplate, I use Pro Acryls Silver. I know this looks a bit strange right now, but we are going to shade all over it using Vallejo's Black. Once that's done, we are more or less edge highlighting the bronze parts with Screaming Bell. I took an old brush for this because I wanted to look a bit rough and worn down by time. Then we take it to the next level using the Pro Acryls Silver once again. But we are only aiming for the most outer trim. So a very small area. I didn't really know what to do with the Trident, so I just took two paints I never used and mixed them together. In this case, it's blue-green and light emerald by Vallejo. I just added a bit of wolf grey into the mix to create this rusty looking color. I just wet blended them together, and when I looked at it, I figured they were a bit too bright, so I added a bit of dark sea blue into the mix. And this was more or less the missing ingredient for my eyes, and I think it turned out pretty nice in the end. Painting is always a process. Sometimes you have to try some things out. Sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. This was the last tutorial of this series. Maybe we are going to revisit it with the Chosen of Hashut, but that's for some time in the future. Once again, I would love to thank you so much for checking out this tutorial. I sincerely hope you had something to take with you, and we are going to see each other in 40k in 4.